Being 8:25, the appropriate time, we are reconvened. At this time, next on the agenda is resolution number R-14-106, a resolution to adopt the 2015 compensation plan for non-represented employees. City Manager James Grimmett will make comments.
Mayor and Commissioners, what we did was the range that this commission, the commission approved in 2013. When we budgeted this year, when we had the budget session this year for 2015, we just added 3.3% to the end of that range. So what I've asked you all for is guidance as to how to apply that raise. I know that the former city manager was going to base the raises on merit, on performance. I don't feel that 3 months as an interim gives me a clear view of everyone's performance.
The 3.3% is the budgeted that the commission approved for this coming year.
That's correct.
Yes?
When was that approved?
During,
The one that won a ride that not everybody was able to attend at one time.
It was approved this summer in June.
Yeah, that's the one I'm talking about.
the budget,
The budget was supposed to be a couple of days long, and it was crammed together, and not everybody was there at once.
okay.
Well, that was a work session, but then it was approved in the commission meeting.
In August.
Mayor, I make the motion that we approve a 3.3% pay increase, which was budgeted for all non-represented employees.
Second.
Motion was made by Commissioner Williams and seconded by Commissioner Edwards to approve resolution number R-14-106 for adoption, and that includes a 3.
Seconded by Marcus.
Martin.
Martin. Justin.
Second.
Yes. Second.
Motion was made by Commissioner Williams and seconded by Commissioner Martin to approve resolution number R-14-106 for adoption, and that includes a 3.3% increase for non-represented personnel, which was budgeted for fiscal year 2015.
That's correct.
Commissioner Castler.
Nay.
Commissioner Williams.
Aye.
Commissioner Edwards.
Aye.
Mayor Faulkner.
Aye.
Commissioner Martin.
Aye.
All right. Motion passes. Next on the agenda, City Manager's report.
Mayor and Commissioners, just to give you an update as to what staff has been doing. Public Service has been replacing stop signs around the city. They have installed new ones on Prairie Lane, at Edgewood, Ohio, and Parkview, on Northfield at Edgewood, on Grandview at Ohio and Parkview, and these were requested by the First Student Bus Service. The street sweeper was used approximately 120 hours over the last 3 weeks. Water distribution adjusted the manhole. Commissioner Edwards, that I think that Mr. Martin, that you brought to our attention, at Warwick and Norwood. They cleaned the sanitary sewer mains and inspected the sewer main on Ohio from 4th to 8th Street by video and found no problems. Crews also assisted the city of Caney with materials to repair their water main leak. The electric department installed power to the fountain at LeClaire Park. Gene, Mike, Stephanie, and myself attended an informal meeting with industry leaders at the chamber. They had some questions regarding the cost of service study and new generation, and I think that the result of that meeting was a very good dialogue. Tree crews worked on Buckeye between New and Martin, and also on Glenwood. IT installed hardware to allow Channel 13 to be monitored at our temporary city hall. Software was also installed so that now Channel 13 can be monitored and restarted remotely. IT is evaluating options for Channel 13 that would allow
video and other types of media presentations. The planning department is working with Habitat for Humanity, Coffeyville Community College, the Men's Dorms Project, Brahms, and the Holiday Inn Express. That's my update.
Commissioners, any questions on any of those items?
None on that, no.
All right. Any other reports from staff that is here that you want them to make at this time?
I don't think so, not at this time.
All right. Commissioners. Comments from commissioners and staff then. There were two items from a commission standpoint that had come to my attention. I have looked at them myself. I didn't initiate them, but the underlying discussions, I think, have merit. And concerning the library and the Youth Activity Center, there are things there that need to be fixed. We haven't gone quite far enough. So the library issue was initially brought to my attention by Commissioner Edwards, and some issues with the Youth Activity Center by Commissioner Kastler. Commissioner Edwards, would you care to start the conversation on the library?
Well, I'm a regular patron over there, and I just kind of realized that there were some things that were apparently not included in the scope of work for the official remodel over there. And I delineated those issues in an email to some of the city staff and the city commissioners, and there are things that I feel like we need to look at going ahead and fixing in that facility since it's under budget. Did you want me to go into detail on that, or
Well, just in general, the lack of electrical outlets for one. And
Well, since that library's been built, personal computers and smartphones have come into play, and today's modern library uses a lot more electricity. It needs a lot more outlets in places now that it didn't need and didn't use before. And I just would like to see us drop down some more electrical outlets in the middle of the open area between the stacks and the adult room. Currently, to plug in all their computers, they've got to run cords from the pillars along the edges of that open space, and it creates, in some cases, tripping hazards where people have to walk over cords that are plugged into the wall. There's the soffit that goes around the edge of the inside of the building has cracks where, because the building's settling, it's kind of an aesthetic issue, but it just seems like we need to go in there and probably caulk the crack and repaint the soffits. There's wallpaper throughout the facility that's very old. It's been painted over in some places, and it's peeling off the walls. I think that we need to consider going in there, stripping that off, and either resurfacing it or putting a new wallpaper of some sort on there. They replaced the ceiling tiles in the areas where they put new lights in the adult library, but they didn't replace all the tiles in there. I think we should consider doing that, given after we take a look at what the cost would be. In the children's library, they used to have the fluorescent tube lighting that was on the ballasts that were just kind of along the wall or the ceiling, and then they put recessed lighting in like this, but they didn't replace the ceiling tiles where the ballast used to be, so you can see discoloration, and there are holes in some of them, and I think that we need to replace those ceiling tiles. I just want to know that when we look at that building and we say it has been remodeled, that people aren't able to go in there and see holes in the ceiling and wallpaper coming off the wall. I hope it doesn't I hope that we don't go 20 or 30 years again before that building is given this kind of attention again, but I think we just need to be prepared to fix it right now so that we don't, if we get 20 or 30 years down the road, the next people that take our place don't go, well, gosh, why didn't they fix all this stuff back in 2014 when they said they remodeled it? So.
I've looked at it. I really didn't look at it in as detailed as you did, but it might be something that I'm not sure with our procurement policy if that can just be added on, or if that would have to be, Stephanie, if that would have to be some of those would have to be rebid.
I know in the case of electrical outlets throughout the main portion of the facility, just drop-down lines, conduits, tubing to the different desk areas where there's additional computers and equipment necessary. That would solve some of that. There is a room that on the, I have to think that's on the,
South side.
on the, it's actually on the north side of the building that will become the genealogy room.
That's the south
It's
side.
about,
South
it's
side.
our south side, it's about the size of the little room here next door adjacent. There's one electrical outlet in there.
Yeah.
So
And the flooring needs replaced in there.
Yeah,
there's just, there's things that weren't included in the original scope of work that should have been, and my concern is if we don't address these issues now and fix them now, it's liable to be another 20 years before
There's an opportunity.
there's another opportunity to do this. So we ought to take care of it and fix it now while we have the opportunity.
We will, I think we can bring something back to you in maybe a month.
Okay. All right.
I don't know if, I'd like to, I mean, I've been over there, but I didn't look at the electric sockets. I was looking at books and whatnot, so I didn't pay much attention to the electric sockets or whatever. So if that list that you just named off, if you could,
I emailed it to you.
well,
Want me to email it again?
yeah, that'd be
Okay,
nice.
Sure.
That way I would be able to go in there and, because I mean, I don't just want to, hey, yeah, let's do that without even looking at it, knowing what I'm even talking about, so.
All right. Okay, the second item was item brought up by Commissioner Castler concerning kitchen appliances over at the Youth Activity Center. And did you want to address that, or?
I can. There's some people who went in there today that might be able to. I haven't been in there in a while, so some of the updates may have been done. But the kitchen is an area that needs that I have concern for. That is used for get-togethers, family get-togethers has been hosted there, and well, point blank, there is no all the old stuff has been gotten rid of because we were made to think that we would be able to get some things. We need some nice looking things. We had some items in that kitchen that outdated my life. And such an example was a microwave had the old turn dial that you turn. There was an old rotary phone in there. It needs updated and we need it to look nice. There is a lovely color of gray in there now, and I think we could find some appliances to match that wonderful color. I'm not saying commercial grade because it's not big enough for a commercial grade anything. It's a very small area where it's very hard for two people to pass without hitting shoulders. And on top of that, there is not any room. They left room for a stove, but they didn't leave room for a refrigerator. So some of that space is going to be taken up by a refrigerator. And anything huge would hinder movement. It needs a microwave and some other items I have emailed some of you about. And I have reasons if you want to ask me later on why I think we need certain things. But it needs to look nice because it's going to be a brand new building, and you don't want some used $70 a refrigerator and then that's going to break down in a few years. We need to think about longevity and think about making it look nice as well.
Was there a full functioning kitchen before the
Yes.
remodel?
Yes.
And was that budgeted in to remodel a kitchen?
I don't think it was.
We were.
Well, I don't think it was budgeted to replace the appliances. I don't know that it was.
I just get the impression that
Would that not fall under capital equipment to go into the buildings? I mean, this whole expenditure was based on the bond issue, 70, 20, 10, and as far as, I thought the portion of that was for capital equipment to go into these facilities, so.
Same as furniture for the
Yeah.
city hall.
I really don't know what the plan was for that.
Well, when I took the tour, they were asking me specifically if we need a new refrigerator, we need a new oven, if we need a new range hood, and I said yes.
Who asked you that?
The people from S&S.
Architects.
Yeah. And I was made to believe, and so was Griff, that we were going to do that. Whether who from, I don't know, but they asked us a question, and I told them, you know.
Has Griff said anything to you about any of this?
Not that I can recall. But, I mean, if they need appliances and they don't have appliances there now, and they don't,
How much would a stove, I mean, how much would we possibly spend for these 4 appliances?
it doesn't sound like a lot.
Okay. Well, I'm certainly in favor of it. I mean, they need something because they have food for the kids, and the kids bring their food, and they need someplace to keep it.
Not only that, but people use that building for get-togethers, weddings,
Yeah.
and the like. And it's been used to fry fish and stuff. That's anything to everything's been held there. Sporting events have been held there. City Rec might use it again.
Yeah, and the city does, I think, rent it out for
Yeah, we rent it out.
events.
So it needs to be a grade A thing and not something that we threw together.
Noted.
Here again, same, I have the same response as last time. I'd like to see what
See some options and costs.
we're talking about. Well, I'd like to at least go over there and look and see what's there.
Go take a look.
Because I haven't, like I said, I was looking at the construction, not the refrigerator. So,
I went over there today, and I was just astonished at how, I believe they told us that they would have that, they intended to have that building ready on January 1st, correct?
Marcus and I talked about that today, and I thought that it was the middle of January.
The last change order was January
Right.
18th.
Okay. Wow.
And there may be another change order coming because if they find moisture in on the gym floor, which sounds like they will.
They're waiting on that report to come back.
I thought we'd already settled that issue.
This
No.
would be on the gym floor.
Okay. It just, my overriding observation is it seems like these early projects, the Youth Activity Center and the library, it seems like they got corner cut and short shrifted so that we'd have a bigger pot of money for the City Hall project. And I'm not saying that anybody that's here currently did that, but I just think that just like we're trying to be responsible in the scope of work that we do with the City Hall project, we need to make sure that these beginning projects get completed adequately. That's
I
all.
think, on that note, I think that when the concept was put out there that we were going to do these projects, that, I mean, to be quite honest, it was pedal to the metal, full speed ahead, and, I mean, we're moving out of buildings and sending people all over town and didn't even have a plan on what we're going to do. And it was...
Well, there was a plan of what we're going to do, but and I agree with what you're saying, we shouldn't have moved out until we had approved a contract to do the actual work, but when that bid came back for City Hall and it was $6 million, I mean, we immediately threw the brakes on. The problem is the city manager had already
moved us out.
moved everybody to their respective corners of town, so.
The thing is that this has been, I'll just stop there because we're going to go.
It's been a
into-
learning experience.
It's been a cart in front of a horse from the
Yes.
beginning.
It's been something.
I think there was an assumption that everything would have been identified that needed to be done, and it wasn't, so.
Well, you'd think, wouldn't you?
We just were at the point where we've decided, rather than wait another 20 years, let's go ahead and fix it now while we have the opportunity. In the case of the library, the Youth Activity Center, and the other city buildings that will be coming up in January. Okay.
For the 20, for Wednesday.
So,
You have.
take a look at
We'll take
these
a look
two
at it.
buildings, identify the issues, see what it's, and get back to us and see what's going to cost. Can it be included in the existing contracts? Are these items that are within the spending authority just to go ahead and do? Or is it something that is going to take some major effort? I think you have, to use a term.
Consensus.
We have the political will to make it happen. Now the question is, how much is it going to cost, and
where's
how
it coming
quickly
from?
can it be done?
Right.
Mayor, you'd indicated a desire to meet with the Municipal Facilities Renovation Advisory Panel in a work session prior to their report, which will be done January the 27th.
Yes.
At our regularly scheduled meeting. Tentatively had a date set up on that Tuesday, the 20th, the week before. That date will not work. Is Wednesday.
Tuesdays, and I keep coming back to this, we meet on Tuesdays, and I feel like we need to stick with Tuesdays.
Well, that Tuesday is the Community Advisory Panel meeting at the refinery that the mayor and I,
At what time?
5:45,
How long do those meetings usually last?
7 until 7.
Okay, then we could meet at 7:30. I mean, how long are we anticipating this meeting to last?
That I don't know. A couple of hours?
We'd still be getting out on about the same amount of time we get out of a regular commission meeting.
Why are we not having this at a regular meeting?
They requested a work session.
So it's Tuesday, January what?
Tuesday, January the 20th.
20th. I think time is the major factor. It's just, there's a lot of information that they've uncovered they want to present to us. That's what I've been told. They have a lot of information that's going to take time. And with a regular commission meeting, it would mean we'd be out of here, wouldn't be getting out of here till midnight.
When has that ever stopped us before from having a long meeting?
I don't oppose having this.
I'm not opposed to a
Work
work session.
I think it needs to be public.
At
And it is
7.
public, it'd be televised, the
Well,
press
but
will be
there's a
there.
difference between a work session and a commission meeting. More people pay attention to that and will come to that more than,
Well, then let's just
Well, this
call
is
it,
the panel's-
let's just call
this
it a
is the panel's
commission meeting work
recommendations to us.
session.
you
I
can
mean,
call it what you want
it's
to,
just,
but
we're just talking semantics.
A work session, there's no action taken. It's more for discussion purposes, and there is no action. Tuesday, January 20th, 7 o'clock. Will 7 o'clock work?
7
for you?
will work.
Okay.
That's when the commission meetings used to start back in the day,
Now-
wasn't it?
7:15.
That's right.
kind of awkward.
Okay, all right.
Any updates on touring the stadium with the college?
I asked Mr. Liker to get back with us after, and I know that city crews have been up there with maintenance from CCC, and they've repaired some of the water leaks, but I haven't heard back. What would be a good day for a tour?
I can go any day.
Do what?
I can go any day. I'm in no.
So you want a tour on any day, is that it?
If I could interject. Tuesdays and Thursdays are difficult for me because they're district court days, and I find myself somewhat predisposed those days.
Are we all going as a group?
We would just notify the media.
Then I'm good pretty much any day for a while.
Schedule it, and I'll be there if I can make it work.
Okay.
You can call probably be after the first of the year, because the college is closed for
Yeah.
the holidays.
Yeah.
I have one question while everybody's doing their calendars. A couple weeks ago, we requested some, basically have some realtors look at our houses. Where are we at on that?
We had one, do you want me to?
Go ahead.
We had one realtor submit a proposal, and the contract is in the stack of things for the mayor to sign. And that was with Rhonda Grossi from American Homes Realty.
Who's been clearing foundations on the east side of town? Is that the city or is that the refinery?
That's the refinery. Well, CVR.
CVR. I appreciate them doing that. It looks a lot better where they've done that.
Yes, it does.
Are they planning on doing all of it? Is that their thing?
I don't know about all.
Sure looks better. Right.
It's taken 7 years, but I'm glad that they finally, 7.5 years, but I'm glad that we're finally, it just looks a lot better.
I don't have any further questions.
Okay, all right.
I do have a statement. I think that we've, in the last year, like, this is pretty much the last meeting for the year.
It's not pretty much, it is the
Yeah.
last meeting of the year.
So, I pretty much say what I gotta say, and you, we've had some difficult challenges as a city over the last year. We've had some transitions, and we've had some basically, every day is a new issue, it seems like. But I just wanted to take this opportunity to say that I'm really proud of the city staff, the way that everybody has handled their respective departments, and I want to thank James for stepping up in the absence of that situation, and most of all, I just want to make sure that everybody knows that I wish everybody a happy Christmas, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, or, Happy Holidays, whatever your gig is. but I want, right, whatever.
Well,
But,
and since you mentioned that, I wanted to pass along a thank you from some employees because of the Coffeyville bucks that we handed out. I've had some comments about that relayed to me, and they wanted to make sure that I relayed those to you all. So thank you.
Thank you.
All right. All right. Commissioners, there is the next item on the agenda is executive session. However, with your permission, down on item K, you'll see a report from Chuck Shively on an in-house engineer. I'd like to move that up to this time so that we don't have to conduct more business when we get back.
That was really just for your information. I didn't really prepare a presentation on it, but I'd be happy to answer any questions. Or what I did, I prepared a report in 2011, and I updated that report, updated numbers. The basic findings from that report, and once again when I updated it, was well, with the numbers, the calculated annual wage equivalent to the average fees paid for consultants is less than the Kansas average salary for a licensed civil engineer and nowhere near that of an experienced engineer. When we contract with a firm for engineering services, we don't just get the services of one person like we would if we had an engineer on staff. So the benefits of contracting engineering services would include quicker design when necessary for an urgent project, assistance from experts when needed, and lower hourly costs than an engineer for some of the more simple tasks like clerical or printing or inspection. Another advantage is the availability of different engineering disciplines and specialty services that can't be performed by an engineer, like surveying or geotechnical services.
So if I could put words in your mouth, in other words, with a contractor, we don't just get one guy that shows up. We have an entire staff of
And
his
we have the
company behind
range of
him
the different
with a
disciplines.
full range.
And also, based on the hours from those years, one man working full-time for the city would be somewhere around 1/3 of what we paid in hours to engineers. So even if we had one on staff, and even if he were dedicated to working design that whole time, we'd still be contracting 2/3 of it. Because there's just not enough hours. We'd need 3 engineers to. But anyway, we'd also, Maryland contacted other cities to find out if they had on-staff engineers, and for the most part, it was the larger cities, around 20 to 25,000 is kind of the point where they started having on-staff engineers. You know, I have no problem with hiring a city engineer, but I kind of feel this evaluation, I think you need to see that it's not going to save us money from what I've determined.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, any other questions, gentlemen? All right, then. Then I move that we adjourn to executive session for the discussions concerning the acquisition of real property,
And personnel.
discussion of items that would be deemed privilege in attorney-client relationship, and number 3, issues concerning non-elected personnel.
Second.
And upon return, we do not anticipate conducting any additional business.
For 30 minutes,
Uh,
9:30.
Let's, I'm not sure 30 minutes is enough. Would that,
9:45.
Just say 45.
9:45, we can always come back early.
Motion was made by Mayor Faulkner and seconded by Commissioner Edwards to recess to executive session to discuss the purchase of real property and for the discussion of items that would be deemed privileged in attorney-client relationship and for non-elected personnel to reconvene on or before 9:45 PM. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.